This first single for the album is called I'd Do It All Again, and that is it's kind of a defiant love song, and I wanted that to be the first single because I wanted to establish, I guess, that with this record it is quite a different album. You know, I thought it would be a good reintroduction to me because it starts with the vocal and the guitar, and that's how I start so much of my music, and then the song kind of swells and it all comes up to this one chorus. You know, it's this kind of intense moment in the song, and I really liked how it had one chorus, and it was just a song that I felt like summed up a lot of the feel of the record, that it is kind of a heavier record, it's more intense, it has more layers, it's more direct, so I thought that was a good song to pick for the first single. The Sea is a different record to my first album. I feel like there's a lot of continuity between the two records because obviously, you know, I've written the music, and this time around I've co-produced the album. But I think the main differences are that I wanted to make a more heavy, more aggressive record. I wanted to write all the songs myself. I wanted to write all the music. I wanted to work with people I knew, great musicians. I wanted it to be a live feeling record. So I feel like, you know, I went a long way to trying to capture those exciting moments that can happen on stage. I wanted to make sure that they were in the album as well. So, you know, the tracks that you hear on the album, like the first take that we actually got the song right, you know, so I felt like when I was performing the record, you know, I didn't feel like we were recording and it was a really stressed environment. I felt that we were just letting the music kind of flow out, and we just happened to be taping it. I stayed in Leeds when I was at university because I was in a band and I really wanted to be able to do gigs, carry on doing gigs. But also I started working in this jazz and soul club called the Underground, and that had a big influence on me, and I met a lot of my friends there and started singing outside of my band with them, singing jazz and soul, and you know, sitting in other people's gigs. So I feel like Leeds is really good because it's got a great musical community that I feel part of between Leeds and Manchester. I think when I was a kid I was kind of straight and nerdy, but at the same time, every time I say that to even my friends, like, oh, you mean what? You mean we were straight and nerdy? And I think I am still kind of straight and pretty sort of together and kind of outsidery, and but that's kind of how I like to be. You know, I feel like I would only be sort of contriving if I sort of tried to be any other way. So yeah, that's kind of how I am. I feel like when I went over with my first album to America, I wasn't really expecting it to connect in the way that it did, and I was really pleased with the success of that album and getting to play on the Grammys with John Mayer and John Legend, and you know, Prince came to our first gig in LA, and we just met loads of amazing musicians. All of this stuff just kind of happened, you know, and it just kind of came in, and I don't really know why it happened, but I just felt pleased to be embraced by that musical community.